Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. So I just thought I'd have another little last play with this Dogtails decoupage toppers, which was from around about May last year, I believe. These are the footballing Rottweiler and the beautiful German Shepherd in the woods. You can see I've already sort of popped him out because I was measuring to see which one I would do best. And then I've obviously got that brilliant background book as well. So I'm going to start with a piece of 6x12 freehand GSM white card. Turn my trim around the right way. And then I've got my cut line here, so I'm just moving that over to the 1 inch mark on the other side. And I'm moving my blade to the 1 inch. And then I'm cutting from 1 to 9. And then I'm going to turn it over, do the same on the other side. So from 1 to 9 or 9 to 1 as I'm going back. There we go. And then just because it's going to be easier to score it on here, I'm going to put this up to the 1 inch mark there. Because I'm going to be doing, well, I usually call it a centre stepper, but I believe it's also called an inverted stepper. So I'm just going to score at that 1 inch. And I only want to score across that middle piece. I will just refine these on my scoreboard in a minute. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the 2 inch. So we've got 1 inch across the middle, 2 inch across the middle. We want 4 inch across the middle. And 6 inch I can go all the way across. So I'll do that on the other board. And then 9 inches, so at the end there. Just put some mark where those scores need to be, so it's just easier for me to find it on the scoreboard. Because obviously I'm not going from this point here, I've got to try and find the line from the middle. But if I've already put that score line in there, what I can do then is just go over that into the scoreboard, and it's just going to do a nice deep score line for me. And then the 6 inch one, we're going all the way across, and then I can turn that one round and it should be at the 3 inch. Oops, God, I wonder. Right, so I'm not quite sure why. That's slightly different, but I'm going to follow that along. We'll hope it lines up with the project. Okay, normally it comes out okay, but today not so much. Okay, let's give these a little fold down, see how they turn out. I'm just mounting and valley them all the way along. These are going upwards, so that will go in half. So this one will go back down. See if I've folded those the wrong way. Yeah, I have, that's why. Okay. So I'm just going to come along with my little burnish here, quite important with these projects. And make sure you do those undersides as well. And then I can come around and do these top sides as well. Okay, and you're going to end up having a card that looks like so. And I picked this sort of style because obviously he's got his little football. He's going to fit quite nicely in there, but he's also, it looks a bit like a goalpost. So that was my thinking with this one. Okay, so now we need to do the layers. So I'm going to take a piece of gold, maybe card. So I need a piece that's 1 by 6 on these two pieces here. So I'm going to do 2 notches under the 1, 2 notches under the 6, and then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. these pieces in the middle, keep getting the t-shirt caught in my trimmer. These pieces in the middle, so this first one is 2 by 4, and then this second one is 3 by 4, I believe. Let me just measure those. I'm sure it's 2 by 4 and 3 by 4. Yeah, 2 by 4, 3 by 4. Okay, and then obviously this piece here is 1 by 4. Now what I am going to do, so this piece here should be just over 4, and it is. So I'm going to take 2 notches off 1 inch, and I'm going to start with this piece being at 4. Now theoretically I should be at 2 notches under the 4, but what I find sometimes is, because I've got that little gap there at the bottom, by doing it at the right size there, it just leaves that nice gap at the side there. So that one only is going to be the 4 inches, because that's on the front. Now these other ones are all going to be 2 notches off the 4 in length, and then we want 2 notches off the 2 for that first step, and 2 notches off the 3 for that bigger step at the back. And what I would say is, if you are using the mirri mats, it's worth cutting them the way these pieces are on the mirri mat. I'll show you what I mean. Let me bring one in. So let's say if I could keep it this way so you can see what I mean. So we've got our mirri mat that way. So by taking that 1 inch off that side and that 1 inch off that side, then that has left those pieces there to come out quite nicely without having to take another mirri mat. So you know, if I had maybe done it slightly different, you could end up using more gold card than you need to. So just, you know, have a little thought in your head when you start cutting into that, because you know, you don't want to waste any of it, do you? It's good stuff. Now I did decide in the end I was going to use this football one. I was umming and ahhing about it because I didn't want like a goal post to be on that side and then not to be on the other. So what I decided to do was take the long side pieces out of the pattern paper. So I'm going to cut those at 3/4 of an inch, and I'll cut those down to 5 3/4 in a second. So that's that one. And then those center panels I'm going to do out of the other side, basically, so the actual football pitchy side. Okay, so if I cut this now at 3, no, I can't do that because the bit on the front, I'm going to cut it at 2 notches under the 4 first of all, and then I'm going to take that first piece on here. Remember we did that slightly larger, so this one needs to be 3/4 of an inch by 2 notches under 1, and if I bring that back, that should fit onto there quite nicely. Okay, and then these other pieces are going to be 3 3/4, and I'm trying to keep the grassy bits more than anything else. So the first one is going to be 1 3/4 of that bigger step, and then the other one is going to be 2 3/4. I don't mind that bit of goalpost in that one because it's going to be covered by a lot of the decoupage anyway. Okay, so let's flatten this out and we can start doing some assembling. So obviously with the paper, if you watch my channel a lot, you'll know I won't use a wet PVA glue with those because paper can absorb that water content and sort of bubble up when you've usually, you know, you've walked away, you've got a good card, you're happy with it, you walk away, you come back, and all you can see is air bubbles, or you know, where it's bubbled up and made air underneath it, which is really, you know, it's devastating, I have to be honest with you. So for the papers, I'm going to use my Hunkydory permanent dot tape pen. The other glue I do use a lot is the Kalau All Purpose. Right, so let's get some assembling done. So I'm going to do the papers first of all, give them a little chance to sit. And I will still use my all purpose because that's an alcohol base, so there's no water content for it to soak into the paper, and it does give me that ability to just float it a bit. I mean, to be honest, those permanent dot tape pens, they are really forgiving in that it will let you take it up. Obviously you have to be gentle because it's only paper, but it, you know, it does give you a little bit of a window to sort of change the position on it. Here's what I'm saying there. Okay, and I'm going to let you know now what I've started to do is make videos in advance, mainly because you know, things happen, people come, or you know, like you end up having to go somewhere, and I always feel bad that I haven't managed to do a video. You know, this really is a good part of my day, you know, not a good part of my day in that it takes a long time, although it does take some time. It's the best part of my day, is, you know, it's what I look forward to, or the best part of my week. So what I've started to do is just do some videos ahead, which means for me I'm a bit more relaxed about them, because I'm not thinking, oh, if this goes wrong, you know, I might not get a video today, you know, up. You know, I know you guys look forward to them. I look forward to posting them. I look forward to reading what you think of them. So there's that element to it. So by doing them in advance, it means that you know, it's less stress for me. I'm also not worrying that something's going to happen, that I'm going to have to do something, go somewhere, or you know, somebody's going to come, my sister wants to come round. I don't want to say no, because obviously I want to support her as much as I can. So by doing it in advance, it means that that's not a problem anymore. It just means that I've been working a bit harder than I usually what I was before. The other good thing is that I can post it at a regular time. So I have been posting at 6 o'clock of an evening. It just seems like a good time to do it. So hopefully going forward, just as long as I can keep a little bit ahead, that's what I'll be doing. What I also want to do at some point is also just have a couple of standby videos, so that if anything happens, and you know, maybe, you know, if, you know, touch wood, not going to be, but you know, myself or my sister was ill and I had to have a bit more time away, then you know, there's another little cushion there for me in posting videos. Okay, so chattering away and just putting those down. So these ones, because I'm now going cardstock to cardstock, I can go back to my normal glues on the back here. And probably what I should have done is glued these on as I went along, because then those back ones will have sat for a little while before I try and do the decoupage. Right, let's make sure all the balls are the right way up. It's really windy here today, so if you do hear the wind chimes, I do apologise, they are going crazy. Not quite sure, it didn't feel that windy when I was out there, to be honest, but maybe it's picked up a bit since then. My sister bought this wind chime because it's got something on there about, you know, when the wind blows I'm with you, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. And she loves it, but it jangles my nerves a little bit, I have to be honest. I used to put the thing on so that it didn't ring, and it used to drive her crazy. But yeah, so okay, so this is looking quite nice as it is. And this one should be quite a shorter video today, I think, because the next card is a really, really quick and simple card. Like, there's no, I don't think I've ever made a card as quick as the next one, I don't think. But okay, so now when we fold these all up carefully, because I don't want them to move, like that one has. Okay, so that's where we're at the moment, and you can see you could pretty much put anything on there, child or football person related. You know, if you've got any dies of any footballers, you could have them coming in from the side, you know, any sort of ball die cuts, those sort of things would all go super nicely on there. So let me pop that to the side, and what I'm going to do is bring in my little Rottweiler. And I'm called this one Safi, or Sapphire. Now my nan, bless her, at like 60, 70, she must have been about, no, she must have been about 60 odd. My cousin went to visit her when she lived around the corner. Actually, she used to live 50 doors down. I say 50 door down, it's not like a straight street, it's like 2 squares, but you know what I mean. She's 50 numbers away from me. And my cousin went to see her. We didn't see very often because he lived, actually lived in Corby for a while, and then he went, I think, down Bournemouth way. But anyway, he went to visit my nan, and he was talking about this puppy that he had. And he couldn't deal with it. So my nan, bless her, she goes, oh, I'll have her, you know, oh, you know, yeah, just bring her down, it'll be fine. So this is how she ended up having this kind of Rottweiler cross dog, soft as anything. She was called Sapphire. That was what I think that's what my cousin's kids had called her. So I think I might keep that one, just separating them out. She ended up having this massive dog, which, I mean, she never went out, not out for a walk or anything, because she was just too flighty. But my nan adored the bones of her, just adored the bones of her, and she was a gorgeous dog, I have to say. And so that was how my nan ended up with this massive great Rottweiler who was nearly twice the size of her, but she was the best dog for her. And like my nan, she was a keen gardener. She used to well, she had a greenhouse, she had, you know, she liked her gardening. I think I said the other week that I found a list of her fuchsias that she wanted to get, which I'm going to try and get this year. Maybe take them down to the grave or something, might be nice. But Safi used to, she's a bit like Henry, you know, she liked her veg. So she used to race down the garden. My mum used to go around for the raspberries because none of us here like raspberries. Well, my sister, she can't really take any berries because they give her headaches for some odd reason. But she used to go around my nan's for the raspberries to steal them, and the dog used to get there first. So, but she used to, I mean, the raspberries, they're quite prickly bushes, and she used to get her little snoot in there, bless her. I used to go down when my nan went away, like, you know, visiting different family members would say, oh, come down for an holiday, blah blah blah. I used to go around and babysit her. And I know this is going to be wrong because we you know, a bit different now, but my nan always used to have little, you know, I don't think you get them anymore, but you used to be able to get a little tiny box of Smarties, like I think they used to call them fun size, you know. And when I was down with her, we used to sit and share on these Smarties. Bless her, she was a good girl. Huge, lovely girl she was. We're lucky, we've had a load of really good dogs in the family, and to us they are kind of family, like my aunt's dogs. You know, used to sort of, when they went away, we used to go down and look after them. So they, you know, they are, I mean, obviously they're not cousins, but they are. And you know, we all feel it when they go. It's just the only problems with dogs is they don't live long enough. Just the only bad thing about them. Right, so I'm just putting those bits on there so I'm not losing them. We've got all those on. So let's come in, just give him, or give her a bit of a shape even. Don't quite know how, but lately I seem to, well, mind you, I suppose with these dogs it kicks it off, but I do seem to have talked about the dogs a lot lately. So apologies if you're not a dog person. After this, hopefully this kit here, after I'm going to get started on the magazine kit. I did say before that there is an embossing folder with it, which is super useful. I have been using that on a couple of cards, even though as I'm making this video it hasn't quite been released, but hopefully by the time it goes, by the time this video comes out, it should be in 2 days time for me, hopefully it will pretty much be there by the time my next video comes. If not, I shall have to substitute something else in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this year brings, craft wise. I think it's going to be a good year. Touch wood, it's going to be a good year. Okay, so let's just pop her beautiful little face on, and then we've got her. Round shape. I'm going to pop her little paw on this ball. And I think this was a nose. Oops. And then this one will be an ear. Oops. I try not to sweep them on the floor, but invariably they do. Those bits end up everywhere. There we go. That one's on. Little set down. Okay, so this one, we're putting it, I think, on the back. No, I'm going to put it on the middle one. We changed my mind. Now, what I am going to do, normally, checking this beforehand, normally I would just use this glue, but because this is going to be in that middle and I don't want it to slip down and then dry that way, I'm going to pop that there, just press those glue dots down, they will hold that in place. So now we've got our little doggy in the middle. You can just see that sort of net behind, so it looks quite good. It looks like he's come from, or she, I don't know why I keep calling him he. Looks like she's come from that net. And what you could actually do as well, if you wanted to, you could, you know, have another dog going this way, or you could have another dog at the back. I'm not going to do that because, you know, that's a bit extra for me. If I had somebody that I really loved, that really loved Dobermans, then that definitely there would be 2 on there, but currently I don't love anybody enough to do that. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one on the side here, time to play. So that is how that is looking at the moment. So let's grab, I think we might have to go gold and green, and just scoop some of these out. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to use that other one here. What I might do as well is just grab another sentiment as well, so we might have a little sentiment on the other side. So I'm popping 2 on that side there. And I want 2 on this side here. And then I'm going to pop. I do hate it when it bubbles, but the other one started doing that a little bit, so maybe it's just part of the course. Okay, let's put that one there. Now, if I pop those back, I know there's a foam pad gone in there, but I'll rescue that later. And let's just, these might be a little bit too big. So, have a great day. What is that one there? Cheers to another year. Time to celebrate. Is that going to be too big? If I'd put that at the top, it would have been better. Right, let me just. Alright, so that's for there. Let me grab quickly one of the other books. This is a fantastic one. Look at that mini happy return, and that's silver. If that had been gold, that would have been job done. So I've got some browns, but they are all son, nephew, special boy, or brother who rocks. So no, we don't want those. It's a little bit more generic. This is the Matastic book. Did I say that? I might have said that. Here we go. These are quite a nice colour for this. Many happy returns. There we go. I'm going to go with that. I will pop that in that other book. So when I need it, like I say, that would have gone in perfect there. If I'd put that ball at the top, or that button sentiment at the top, it would have been fine. But I did not. So let's just pop some foam pads on here. Just using up these little bits. Yeah. There we go. Like I say, if you've got any die cut footballs, I know there was a kit, wasn't there, with Hunkydory's shirts and boots and things. They would go very nicely on here. I'm going to put that on about there, I think is the middle. And that is going to be card number 1. So let me just bring it up. So that's how it's going to sort of sit. I don't know if you're really going to get the benefit of this one. You might do in a photo. But you can just see that little gold at the back, which looks quite cool because it looks like he's come in from there. But that goes really, I think that topper goes really well with that one. That is card number 1. So I'm just going to get set up for my second card, which is going to be really, really quick. Okay, so for card number 2, I'm just bringing in a piece of A4 300 GSM white card. And I think this is the simplest way to use these toppers, and it probably would go for most of them if I'm honest. So I'm just going to cut this to 4 inches. So obviously I've got another one there, exactly the same, and then I'm going to cut this to 8. So I'm going to make a little 4x4 card. Obviously that's a nice size to be cutting bits out of. And I'm not going to score that yet. I'll score that in a second. I'm going to bring in, I'll have to use a Mimi mat because I haven't got access to the A4 at this moment. So I'm going to cut this to 2 notches under the 4 because I'm making it like an easel card. So I want a 4x4 piece for the bottom, and then this should be 2 notches under the 4. And then I want that to be 2 notches under the 2. So that's going to go on the top there. Again, we've got another piece of gold left over. Let's see which. So there is the door. The dog is walking in the woods. So let's grab the brilliant backgrounds again. And I think there is a really nice. I like that one. Is there a woodsy one as well? I thought there was. We'll go with that one. I think. Yeah, that's the woodsy-ish one. Okay. Now I'm going to go. So I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4. So we've got a piece left over. Now for the underneath. Going to use the pattern side, so I'm going to cut that 3 3/4 again, and then for this top piece I just need to take 1 3/4. So I'm just going to have that little bit of those trees in the background because obviously our dog is going to cover most of this. I'm going to throw that away then, that would have been criminal. Okay, so scoreboard. And we're just going to score this at 4 and 6. And then I can actually do that one because it's slightly wider. Now if you didn't want to use that paper, if you want to use it as a normal card to be written on, you can use the Trim Me insert pads. Just use a lighter piece of paper, something like that. If you didn't want the patterned as well, you could go with this pretty side as well. Yeah, it's whatever you're looking for really. That was the glue. Blowing a bubble. Okay, so let's just pop that down onto there. I could press down. And I'll do this other piece as well while I'm here. And then what I can do is glue these on, and then while I'm doing the decoupage on the dog, it will be nice and secure for us. So I'm going to use my normal glues because we're now going cardstock to cardstock. There. Just popping those onto those corners. So that's what we've got so far. You can see it coordinates quite nicely. And again, if you had any birds or, you know, sort of forest animals, sort of, that would go very well with this scene. But we're going to bring in our German Shepherd. Now, the good news or the bad news is I've only ever known one German Shepherd in my life. And I can't remember her name. My friend, you know, one of the school friends I went to school with used to have one. And she was very particular. My next neighbour had one actually as well. But he was a bit of a psychopath. A bit like Henry, you know, didn't like people. Well, I was frightened of people. That's what Henry's problem is, but yeah, we had one for a long time. Oh, there's lots of decoupage on this one. Head, 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 nose and tongue. Oh, and there goes Henry making his presence known. And we'll go with, oh, is that the Doberman? Oh, that's the Doberman. We'll put that on the next card. And then to my best pal. Which is a nice little sentiment, isn't it? Okay, so let's pop those pieces up there with our Doberman. And then we can come along with this. I mean, obviously if you wanted another one, you could just cut away this little bit of background and it would be perfect. Okay, let's pop that there. Might not be able to use that mouth, we might have to use it on the other bit, but it will get used one way or another. Just check that scene up. That should be fine. So just cut it down a bit smaller, nearly cut my hand off. Never mind. Just a little bit there to support his legs. Ah, the next door neighbour's one, I've just remembered it, it was Bryn. My friend's one was a girl, so I can't remember what she was called. Got a feeling it was something like Elsa or Ivy or something like that, but probably I'll remember later when I'm not wanting to. Put a little on this nose, but I think there was a smaller piece that I've used anyway, so I'll put that there. Okay, so I've not put a lot of foam pads on this one. Let's just give it a little bit of a shape round. Yep. Computer's beeping at me. There we go. So. So just putting these layers on. You see how it really starts to come out of the picture. And there's the head. Left we've got a nose and a paw. Oops. There's a head in there. Nose the right way round. There's a tongue. Just put one little frame pad on there. Probably could have done with a bit more, but it will do the job. Just hold that up, make sure it's it's where it needs to be. That's not, that must be Rottweiler feet. Okay, so that's there. Again, I think, actually I'll just do it with tacky glue on this one. So just popping some tacky glue on the back. And I'm just going to go over the whole of that. So you could put anything there really, you could just repeat the pattern side if you wanted. I find when I use the papers that the card curls up a little bit more. I don't know whether it's because there is less you know, sort of card stock there, you know, like the, if it was the Adorable Scoreable, it would be 3 GSM white, I think it's 250 or 280 gold, and then the Adorable Scoreable was probably about another 200, so it's a really nice chunk of cardstock. But with the paper obviously it's a lot lighter, but I don't know if that's what it is or why, but just found it it does. Okay, so let's just pop, I'm going to put 2 on that side and 1 on the other. Where's my picky tool? There you are. So go for that nice big one on there. And then we want 2 sort of similar sized. There we go. Okay, so that's that one finished. So like I say, a really simple, quick card. Just needs a little 4x4 envelope. You might have to have a bit of, so just be careful with them gems. You might have to have a bit of loft to that envelope with that decoupage being on there. I knew I was going to move them. Good job this glue dries clear, hey? Let's pop that there. Let me grab a little bit of this. And this is what I normally do if there's too much glue. These are the same as the, I can never remember what they're called, the little, what do we do, the purple ones? I can't remember what their names is. Teeny weeny, teeny tiny. But that is card number 1. So our little tiny 4x4 easel. Okay, let's bring back in the other card. What I did find was that leg I found, because I had an issue with the camera, I went back. That leg was supposed to be on this side. So what I did was just take that one off. It was, the foam was still on there, so I just put some fresh glue on and then just put that leg on the right place. And I couldn't get his face on because we had the smaller piece on his nose. But those are those 2 cards for today. Like I say, moving on to the magazine next time. I think as long as it's been released, I'm going to do the video tomorrow for it, and hopefully I'll be able to play that in a couple of days time. If not, I will have to fill something else in the meantime, which may very well be these dogs again, or it could be from that there was a men's kit, wasn't there, which was really cool. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching today. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.